What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Holla at Me podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Ox Turner. As you can see, we on YouTube. As always, we're on Apple, Spotify, and whatever else platform you listen to your podcast. Now, my next guest, Samantha Behrman, comes from Santa Barbara, California, or her stage name, Sam Bear. She's been performing stand-up comedy for a few years now. She's also been doing improv. She's traveled around the world. She's been to college. She got a master's degree. So listen to her story. I hope y'all enjoy this next episode with Sam Bear. So how many besties do you have?
I know.
No, I'm saying like this.
No, really. They're the probably about, I don't know, I'd say 4 or 5. The women who I would want standing up with me when I get married.
Ooh.
That like if I could only have, I've thought about this. Like if I want a wedding where I want people there, and I don't want it to be like, oh, I feel the need to invite you. Like I want people there who. No, people get sucked into the politics of this. I want people there who would be there if I wasn't going to feed them, if I wasn't going to give them. I mean, I'd give them water because I'm classy like that.
Yeah.
If I wasn't going to give them anything to drink, like I want people there who would just be like, I'm honored to be there.
Right.
That's how I felt at any wedding I've ever been able to go to.
So,
as I felt a lot of honor that they chose
over
me.
under, like how many people is that?
My short list, because I did it without looking at my phone or friends list. I was like, I want to be able to know like.
Yeah.
It was 25.
So 25 people that you want at the wedding?
On my side.
On your side. Now, like...
That's not all besties. That includes some family and whatnot, but I'd say 5. And those women represent, like, women from, like, all facets of my life.
And is the stereotype really true? Like, this is something women have been thinking about since they were little girls? Is that, like, a stupid
I think
stereotype?
little girl would need to be defined.
Okay, so at what point did you start thinking, like, oh, my wedding's going to be like this? Because this is something I'm ignorant to.
Do you not think about it? No. Have you ever thought about it?
I mean, but like my thoughts are super quick. Like I'm
They're
quick.
Fleeting. They're in and out.
Well, they're well thought out.
Okay.
Like I'll have a thought, I think it through, and then it jumps to the next thing. I don't like dwindle on things.
Yeah.
That I can't solve. Like that's what. So I'm the type that like I need to fix something, and that's probably like my relationships with people. That's probably where I've probably driven people the most. Like irritated is where I like either try to solve their problem. I don't want to hear it unless I can solve it.
Oh.
Yeah. So like don't come to me with the same issues over and over again. Right. So do I think about marriage and weddings and stuff? Like literally, like growing up, I never went to weddings or funerals. And this is something that like I've reflected on. And then like in the last 4 years, my brother's gotten married. My best friend is getting married in a few months, and I was part of another wedding, and so like thinking about it is so stressful. Like, first of all, who are my best men? Like that, who gets left off the list? Like, what happens if someone can't make it, and then I have to add someone last minute? Like, these are the things that I have issues with.
I wouldn't add somebody last minute.
You would.
I would have uneven numbers. That's not the uneven numbers is unimportant to me. It's like. I don't know, when I had my birthday this last year, I had a big birthday, and I thought about, I would usually call like someone after and be like, oh my God, like this is what happened. And I just looked around and I was like, all the people who I would call and like tell about it. Yeah. They're all here.
Okay, so you seem to be really, really self-aware about the people around you.
I try to be, yeah.
So how long have you like, because I'm assuming there was a point at which someone or people had continuously let you down, it sounds like. I don't know you that well, obviously. We haven't even introduced your name yet.
Yeah.
Samantha Behrman?
Behrman.
Samantha Behrman.
Bear like the animal.
Ger.
Yeah. Man like the overpaid gender.
Like the overpaid gender.
And that is how I introduce myself on stage.
Speaking of white men, see, you gotta
make more money than women of color.
Not in DC.
Are we living in DC right now?
Okay, so you have to like refine that joke every time you tell it.
When I get out to DC, I'm gonna have a whole litany of other things to say. My name of which in the gender gap that'll be the lightest one.
So when you haven't even answered the first question.
You're right. When did I start thinking about weddings?
Yes. What was little girl for you?
You know, in high school, I had a friend who, She was really obsessed with weddings.
Okay.
And she had a lot of wedding magazines, and I thought that was odd.
What age? High school, you said?
Yeah, 15.
Okay.
I never bought a wedding magazine. I still haven't bought a wedding magazine.
Yeah.
Because I'm not engaged.
Right.
So there's that.
Right.
I have a Pinterest that I'll occasionally click through, but again, I think it's a more developed, fleeting thought than yours. Like I put it, when it comes in, I'll kind of get a surge of energy and then I let it go. Cause I'm also trying to keep myself grounded in the sense that like, I don't, as much as it's something I want and my partner is aware that it's something I want and it's something he wants.
Right.
I'm also trying to be realistic and trying to be very much like, I want to plan for this when I have a reason to plan for it.
For sure.
You know, so it's not, but I have thought out who I want up there with me.
Okay. Well, and so I thought more about it. The reason why weddings is not something I've thought extensively about is because I'm not really a big like BS ceremony person. And I feel like that's somewhat of a BS ceremony in that it's like, it's a show for everybody else. Oh, you didn't have a wedding? Like, oh, how come I didn't get invited? Like, I've been around so many people my entire life that like, it's almost like Christmas was annoying because it's like, oh, so-and-so got you a gift. We have to get them a gift. As opposed to, it's just like, I just gave this person this gift. I don't care. It's like selfless gift, right? So like, and you know, I told you earlier, my mom is Ethiopian and half my family is like foreign. And I think that's a huge, at least an Ethiopian cultural thing. It's like, there's so many things you have to do just to save face or whatever. You know, like at someone's funeral, or someone's parent dies or whatever, like you have to go be with them. You may even talk to the person for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, but you just have to be there. You have to fly to LA, doing the most, flying across the country just to be with the person for a day and then flying back. And there's positives and negatives to that quality. Like my mom drove down just for the day 2 weekends ago just to be with me because she wanted to be with me for something. Like, you know, that's great, but I don't need the fake ceremonies. I think it's a waste. And I understand if I should ever meet somebody that I end up getting married to, like I understand it's gonna be for them, you know. So I can separate my need and want. It's just gonna be very expensive.
It is very expensive. I think the older I've gotten though, I definitely know that I don't know at what point, but I do know that I mentally switched from wanting like a Cinderella fairy tale, which I do blame Disney for, but also I'm okay with that. You know, I watch Disney movies, but I don't think I went around believing that a man was supposed to come and save me.
Right.
I think I had I will say on record, I had a good balance of be independent, save yourself mentality, and also watch this movie. My dad was always like, these movies are fake, none of this is real, but enjoy it. He was very clear on that. But I don't know, I just got older and I've seen a lot of big weddings, and like, I mean, a big wedding doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that it's a strong marriage. I've seen really small weddings, and I've also not seen a lot of weddings to people who got married and they're still married.
And they're still fine, That's what I think. I'm like, I would hope, like if I do happen to get some sort of ceremony, I hope it's quick, it's very small, like not destination. Maybe
that's a quick way to cut down your list. And that's a middle ground to meet that obligation. You can invite a lot of people because they're not going to come.
See, the perfect storm is you do a destination wedding, but like with foreigners involved. So like, I remember going to Rosarito, Mexico with my mom for an Ethiopian wedding. It was a destination wedding. And it's like, why the fuck are there so many Ethiopians in Mexico right now? You know, like when is that ever? And it was like the pettiest thing to do a destination wedding. It's like a dare, right? Like, it's like a game of chicken. It's like, I'm gonna do the most inconvenient thing possible.
Right.
Yeah.
See, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not going to invite people out of obligation.
Right.
When the time comes, if the time comes.
Yeah. Okay, wait. And we're gonna do like the interview, but Disney Princess thing.
Yeah.
I saw that, I did a little research, saw you went to San Diego State.
Yes, I did.
Women's Studies minor. So, ignorant question number 1 of the day.
Yes.
Is feminism, is that related? Would you consider yourself a feminist?
Absolutely, I'm a feminist.
Cool. Because you broached the topic, just wanted to clarify. So, I've been trying to be more aware of all things in our that we digested in our childhood that were wrong, and you know, I've read on like the Twitters that like Disney princesses are fucked up.
Yeah.
Can you break that? Because I've been trying to figure out. Okay, thank you. Well, break it down for me.
Okay.
Let me know. Where are the where is it wrong?
Well, the stories are wrong.
Okay.
Pocahontas is a real person.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We're gonna skip that.
No, the stories are fake. I get that, but where for actual the female piece is
Gotcha. Oh, well, if you watch it and watch enough of them, and if you like went back and looked at them, it's kind of like the woman is always trapped in whatever her reality is.
Right.
And she wants to not be in that. So she's self-aware enough to know, like, I could have something different. Maybe not more, but different, and different has to be better than this.
Right.
But she's never able to make that change or make that jump or do the thing until the man enters the movie.
Right.
And he's the catalyst for the change in her life.
Right.
And so it kind of sets women up to believe that you can get close, but your real change won't come until a man comes in. And he will be what ignites that passion in you. He'll inspire you to start your business or to leave a unhealthy environment, or you know, he'll love you enough as you are, but he'll make you better.
So is the issue that's out there is because it's saying that you need a man to accomplish those things?
One of the issues. Also how they look.
How
they're drawn.
Right. Yeah, they're like hourglass, like the women and the men.
I'm so tired of this hourglass trope. I don't think these cartoonies are hourglass. I think they're tall and slender, and there's women who look like that, but there's a lot more that don't. Right.
I will say, tangent to this, I grew up like thinking like white girls were prettier, which I don't not think that now, but it's way more balanced out. You know what I'm saying? My hue has shifted to the middle now, where I can find beauty in everybody. But like growing up, like I don't know, it was crazy. Like I just remember like, my dad and just TV and everything just like programming me to think white women are better looking. You know what I'm saying? And so that's anyway. So back to the main point, the Disney princess thing. I feel like, there are people that do inspire me though. And it's not always someone that I'm dating or something. So you're saying that woman and that princess can go through that. Would you be fine if that would have been like a friend? Like a homegirl?
Yes, that would have been fine. Okay. Well, it's kind of like, I guess Frozen was to my recollection, one of the first Disney movies that really changed from that falling in love romantic trope and even poked fun at itself. Right. If you saw Frozen, or
I actually haven't.
You haven't. Okay, so you're saying right though. I like that you're agreeing. With what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
So in Frozen,
I'm not trying to combat. I'm trying to. Oh no,
these
clarity.
Two princesses, they have a ball to announce one is going to be queen. I think. And anyway, this one sister meets a guy. Yeah. And is talking. She's falling in love. She wants to get married tomorrow, and her sister is like, "You just met him." Right.
Like, come on. Yeah. Don't be an
like.
idiot.
This is not real. You can't possibly mean this. Yeah. And as the movie progresses, she gets to a point with another male character where she has to kind of choose in this dramatic moment. Like, does she go for romance, or does she go and like save her sister and save what's going on? And she chooses her sister.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Okay, all good.
She does, and then she ends up, I guess, I would assume in like the end of the movie, dating this other guy. So like it does show that like a woman can save herself and can save who she wants and can be that strong character and doesn't necessarily have to choose. And also like the guy was kind of an inconvenient additive to the story.
Right. He didn't. Yeah, I got you.
And like, men don't need to play that role either. But like all the movies leading up to that were like, the man comes in and saves the day. So and the woman's along for the ride, and she's like, "Thank you. I could never have done this without you." That's the thing.
So what were the appropriate children movies? Not appropriate, but like just what were the ones that had a better message than the Damsel in Distress?
Pippi Longstocking.
Okay, I only know like the part of the nursery rhyme. So what was Pippi Longstocking? I didn't know
she was a nursery rhyme. Pippi Longstocking, she was like kind of magic. She rode in on a horse. Mm-hmm. She lived by herself. She owned her own house. Mm-hmm. She had gold coins, gold doubloons. Yeah. Her dad was a pirate.
Okay.
And I mean, one could argue he was an absent parent because she was alone a lot of the movie. But like, she took care of her home. Right.
Mom died.
Either died or just not
found another.
Not a part of the story.
Why do we never? Okay, continue.
I liked that movie. I thought that was really good.
Okay.
I guess as far as like kid.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Inspiring, strong female roles go. Another good kid movie. I don't know. I just rewatched Hocus Pocus. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but I just want to promote Hocus Pocus as much as possible.
I can't get down with it. I mean,
Babysitter's Club.
Babysitter's Club.
Babysitter's Club is a strong female role.
I've never even heard of that.
It's so good.
Who's that with?
So cheesy.
Who's the lead, or is it one of those like Disney movie?
No, I don't know who the lead is.
Yeah,
I'm really bad at that.
All good.
I would not survive. Like, don't call me in the taxi cab game.
Yeah.
If you need me to.
You're not helpful.
Not for that.
Nah.
I'm not good for name that tune or name that actor.
Nah.
Like
I'm horrible like trivia. I'm horrible at trivia nights also. All right, so you real briefly.
Okay.
Right now.
Yes.
Write me an ideal children's story.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a young girl with not clear skin. So she's high school aged.
Okay.
I think that's important because it's real.
Right.
She plays on the soccer team.
Okay.
JV, but she's going out for varsity.
Okay. So she's a junior?
Yes.
Okay. Junior high school.
Mm-hmm. This book. Is it a book or a movie? Whatever.
No, it's a movie.
It's a movie.
They all start as
That's
books.
true. It's going to start as a book.
Yeah, but let's go movie.
This is the summer between junior year and senior year.
Okay.
A pivotal summer.
Okay.
So she's training all summer
to try to make the
varsity team.
Right.
Yeah. And in the midst.
Soccer. Okay.
Yeah. And in the midst of that, her family struggle is that mom and dad have been divorced.
Okay.
And now dad is in a new relationship.
Okay.
And mom is fine.
Whose fault was it?
You know?
That's important.
It is. I'm not going to say that it was. I don't think anyone stepped out. I don't want it to be like that. I think they just were fighting a lot. Like, I don't think anyone cheated on each other.
Okay.
I think that mom and dad were just fighting a lot. I think they got married too young, and I also think they stopped working. They stopped working for it. But that all happened in the past. Like, exactly.
That's real.
It is. So you never start off with them in the same home. Like, mom and dad have been divorced. Right. But now dad is like...
And you uncover it as the story goes along.
Yeah. Like, so dad's in this new relationship, and the daughter kind of doesn't want to meet the girlfriend.
Right.
At all. She's refusing.
Right.
Guess where she meets the girlfriend? She is the new varsity coach who is running the tryouts.
Oh, God.
Yes. But she doesn't find out that that's the girlfriend until, I don't know, 3 weeks later. But during the course of her not knowing, she develops a really strong relationship with her.
With the coach?
She's talking about, oh my gosh, she's so positive, she's so empowered. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't want to spoil the end.
No, keep going.
Just keep going.
No, because I'm going to ruin this story for you.
Oh no, okay.
Keep going.
Well, okay, so I wish you hadn't said that. So now I'm gonna try and unruin your ruin. Okay. So I'm following it up. Okay, so 3 weeks later, so she makes the varsity team. Another twist. And then she finds out that the girlfriend is who she is the girlfriend accidentally. She sees
the girlfriend
her
didn't know.
The girlfriend.
There's no way the girlfriend didn't know.
The whole time the girlfriend knew that was her.
Okay.
Who the girl trying out was, but the young girl finds out that's her dad's girlfriend accidentally. She sees them kissing and she
freaks out. Yeah,
she freaks out. Classic freak out.
Yeah. She
believes the only reason she was put on varsity was the girlfriend wanted her to like her.
Yeah.
And then. She wants to give up soccer.
Repeat that last part.
And then
repeat that last part.
That the girlfriend wanted her to like her.
What was the reason why she made the varsity team?
That's why she thinks is the only reason why she made it.
Okay.
She thought that was the only reason.
Okay.
This girl's been practicing all summer.
Okay.
She's not tripping over her feet.
Right.
And she's been on JV for 2 years.
I'm gonna only because I like playing devil's advocate. you have a male figure that comes in and helps her by dating the teacher or the
That's
the
why
coach.
she thinks she made it, but that's not why.
There's no way that can be a new. She can't not make the team at all. She can't not make the team. There's like, so you still have a male. I'm only playing devil's advocate. I'm only being an asshole because this is fun.
Maybe
you still have a male that stepped
in the 2019 version.
Yeah.
She is the product of a separated lesbian couple.
Okay, there you go. now we're good. Oh my god.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah. Okay. While we're on,
except stop loving her mother.
So while we're on problematic movie topics, and we're comedians, so we have to be like aware of like cancel culture and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the step parents to step in because they got shitted on all through my childhood in movies. Parent Trap, like all these movies just shitted on step parents. Like my dad and my mom were separated most of my life, and they all dated. And like, I'll admit, there were probably some that they might have been actually good that I didn't like, and because I thought I wasn't supposed to.
Right.
And my parents were never gonna get back together. That was never a option on the table.
Yeah, I don't think this character doesn't like her because she thinks that their parents will get back together. I think this is just the first time she's seeing her dad.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Be intimate, and intimate. That word gets such like a nasty rep. Like I think people think like, oh, you see them being intimate, like you're seeing them do sexual things. Like no, I mean intimacy it's friendship, it's physical touch, it's all this. So if you've only ever seen that from your parents to each other, and now you're seeing it somewhere else, I think it could be triggering where you're a teenager, so everything in the world is wrong. So
right. Samantha, give people your elevator pitch.
Okay.
Like you meet somebody, and how are you introducing yourself?
Hi, my name's Samantha Behrman. Okay. I'm a Santa Barbara local, but I left the bubble for 10 years.
Okay.
I lived in San Diego, I lived in Spain, I lived in Israel, and then I lived in Kentucky.
Okay.
People tend to be more interested in the Kentucky bit.
Why?
Because they can't believe that anybody would choose to move to Kentucky.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
But I got paid to do it.
So, we'll get to grad school in a little bit, because that's something that, like, obviously that's on my radar. Not obviously, but that's something that's kind of on my radar. Mm-hmm. But so you grew up in Santa Barbara. What high school did you go to?
Dos Pueblos.
What's their mascot? It's like the
Chargers.
The Chargers. That's right. And so like growing up in high school, what was your ambition? What was your why were you going to school? What kind of student were you?
I was an A student. I was an honor student.
Okay. Was this pressure from home, or like did you really want to what was that?
Did I really want to get A's?
Yeah.
Yeah, life is easier when you're an A student. Teachers are nicer to you. Your parents are nicer to you. I don't think my parents they were never mean, and they always wanted me to do my best.
Yeah.
And school was easier for me. Mm-hmm. I learned that a lot more when I was in college. Like I saw people struggle a lot studying, mm-hmm. and I just didn't. So studying came very naturally to me. Learning came naturally to me. So getting high grades also came.
Did you enjoy the learning part, or because mm-hmm. for me it was the opposite. I did well in high school, mm-hmm. but I tried really hard because I wanted to make certain people happy, like my parents happy. But it didn't come easy. Like I had to work mm-hmm. really, really hard to get the B pluses and A minuses that I got. Yeah.
Yeah, there were some of the classes that I really enjoyed, and there were a lot of shortcuts that I took that really came back to bite me. Yeah, and so when I've worked with youth in the past, I've been trying to be fairly transparent about those kind of things. For sure. Listen, you can get that A, but eventually the fact that you didn't read this book,
right,
it's gonna catch up to you
every time.
Yeah, and sometimes it'll be a way that you can overcome it, and sometimes it'll be a way where you're backed in a corner and it is really only your fault.
Sure. So going through high school, you worked really hard. You got good grades. Mm-hmm. Did you have like a dream school in mind, or did you play sports in high school also, or what were the other activities? Because like your LinkedIn, like it's just there's so much black on the page. You do so much. Like, there's so many activities that you're involved with now and have been involved. I assume in high school you were involved with a lot of stuff too.
I got much more involved in college, but in high school I was on the track and field team.
Okay, what did you do?
Shot put and discus, and then I was the anchor running the Fat Man's Relay, and my team came in second. Because you were forced to run something, right? No, in high school? We were not forced to run anything. One event, they didn't have 3 teams running. Yeah. So there would only be a first or second, and we as a throwing team were like, let's just do it. Yeah. And so we did, and our coach was not happy with it because we got second.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's embarrassing.
And that's what we said. Yeah. And then he was like, well, you made them feel bad. And I was like, I didn't think I made anyone feel bad. I did my best. And like, I can't believe we won.
Yeah, what do you want to...
we got second.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Were you good at shot put?
I was the best of the mediocre.
Okay.
Yeah, I never placed, but I had a really good time.
Yeah.
And I joined the track team because it was a no-cut team. And in my junior year, I lost all my friends, and so I needed something to do. And
Did
people
you switch schools or?
No, girls are just mean.
Yeah,
And I'm now very good friends with her, but years went by and she ended up owning and apologizing, and like the apologies that you never think you'll hear, I heard it, and I was like, what is happening with my life right now? But at the time, she said in front of our group of friends, I remember it was like 7:45, it was right for the bell, and she said, we're not friends anymore, don't eat lunch with us, and don't talk to us anymore. And then she goes, and you're not coming to homecoming with us. And I was like, ooh. And in that morning, I lost all my friends, and like they wouldn't talk to me.
I think about this sometimes, is there one person that you said a mean comment to when you were younger that like haunts you? Not haunts you, but like that you're like, damn, why did I act like
mean?
Yeah, because I feel like everybody kind of has that one person.
For sure.
Or people.
Yeah.
That you've wanted to apologize to, because I'm sure that.
Yeah, there's a few people who. Here's the thing: what worries me more than the people I think I need to apologize to are the people who I don't know that I need to apologize.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so,
yeah.
Yes, but if I don't know, that means I'm not remembering them, which is kind of like worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's certainly, absolutely. I made it through high school. High school kids have every single person needs to apologize to somebody. But yeah, I'd say there were a few people who I definitely went out of my way to be unpleasant with.
Yeah.
It's my very professional way of.
Yeah.
But I really do not believe that I was a bully to anybody.
No.
I do not think that I continually picked on any one person, or that there was someone and I saw them constantly. But there were people who it was just easier to bandwagon, and like I didn't know them, but I'd heard that they were weird, and I was like, yeah, it's just easier to not be nice to them because everyone isn't being nice to them.
Yeah, one thing about high school that I wish that I could like implement in my little sisters is that like none of that shit matters, right? Like in high school, you think everything is so friggin' important, and like you said, you losing all your friends, like that can set someone back a lot, right? Someone could drop out, someone could become harmful to themselves, so they can lash out, and like. I feel like it's so much harder for like watching my sisters grow up. It's so much harder for women than it is for boys. I feel like,
I think so.
And you know, so you found Solemn in the track team.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened from there? You joined the track team. You found out you were the best of the mediocre kids. You guys got second place, and you know,
Fat Man's Relay. Yeah. What happened from there is I really loved it, and I actually met my best friend, I call her. So I had to have a few women who I call my best friend, but this woman, we've always joked that like we share a brain. Not that we're not smart, but like we're thinking the same thought at the same time. Yeah. And if people follow along our conversations, it might not make sense because we're only half talking because we
you
know.
Don't need to,
Exactly. So there's that, and I mean, I would not have met her. We talk about that a lot. There's no way that we would have met without it.
Right.
And I enjoyed track too. Is the other thing.
Yeah.
Like. I legitimately enjoyed it, and I enjoyed being part of a sports team, and so I've found other ways to be part of sports teams.
I think sports is so important for like especially young people's development. Just interaction with other people and just believing in yourself, all that shit. That's what's up. Okay, cool. So, and then did you have like a dream school or?
Oh yeah. Well, my dream school was Cal Poly, and that was 100% to please my parents, and that was the one school I didn't get into.
Did your parents go there or something?
No. So I had no idea why they were so. They were very interested in that. I remember I think I applied to 10 schools. I got into 9. Yeah. And I was very dramatic when I didn't get into this one, and my dad's like, I'm going to call the administration office. And I was so angry, and I think I'd seen it in a movie. And I threw down all of my 9 acceptance letters. And I said, something like, obviously none of this matters. Why don't you just pick where you want me to go? Because the only school you care to call is the one I didn't get into. Right. And then I left. I do remember that. I stormed out and...
Super dramatic.
Yeah, I was really great at being a teenager. I was really good at it.
I actually apologized to my parents.
I have apologized.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, I was a shithead growing up.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be a summer camp counselor, and one year I got moved up to the 15-year-old girls. Yeah. Or 14 to 15, and I hated it. It was the worst summer working there, and I could call my mom crying. And one time I called and I was like, Mom, how do parents make it past kids being this age? Girls. Yeah. I said, these girls are just awful. And she took a deep breath. She goes, you want me to tell you how? I said, yeah. She goes, we send them to summer camp.
Yeah. Yeah. So I respect that. When you start getting involved with kids, and why?
Since college. Okay. Since I was old enough to, I think.
So you picked San Diego State out of one of the 9. Why?
I did. I thought it was far enough away that I could make salvageable mistakes, but close enough that if a mistake I made was so big, my parents could come and bail me out.
Yeah, come and help me. Bail you out. Yeah.
I mean, that's why you call your parents a lot of times.
For sure. Yeah.
And that was about it. And I walked on campus, and I liked the feel of it, and it was the best. It was the best choice for me. I loved it. Yeah. So I feel bad when people really hate their undergrad, because I didn't have that feeling. I loved it.
I hated my first. I went to Penn State for college, and I just I just wanted to get away from home. Mm-hmm. And my first semester there was the worst time of my life. I'd never seen snow before. It was cold.
Yeah. It's really cold.
Fucking cold. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough talk about how cold it is.
No,
but I get you.
They were like, "Hey, Ox, you should get a coat," and I was like, "Oh, I'll get a hoodie." Yeah, that's the same reaction everyone made when I got there. There was days, Cool Runnings.
Yes.
Yeah, there was days where I had 2 jeans on, hoodies. I had ski masks walking to class, and people were in dresses. Oh, are you cold? It's 40 degrees.
Yeah. Well, 40's warm when it's been below 30.
Yeah. My dumb ass is wearing Vans on the ice and snow. I'm slippering everywhere. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I recommend everyone get away as far away as possible they can for school. So college. When did the comedy play into factor here?
Yeah. Well, I had tried to be on the high school improv team for years, but at Dos Pueblos, I still think this is true. High school students can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the clickiest people in that school, maybe this is still grudging, but I think it's the theater kids.
1,000%.
Without a doubt. The other thing is, not that they should be, but the ones that were there when I was there were auditioning in LA. I'm not saying they had a right to be cliquey, but some of them were trying to get work. And I'm I just want to get on stage. Right. The jocks weren't as cliquey.
Cliquey, highbrow,
they don't want to talk to you if you weren't pushing to be the next Broadway star, the next TV star. Right. They did not want to exchange with you. Yeah. Very much, they didn't want to talk with you if they didn't think they could get something from you.
They weren't the cool kids.
No, they were not the cool. No.
Okay.
No, but I don't know. I don't think Dos Pueblos does a good job of cool kid ranking. But in terms of cliques, ain't no one breaking into the theater kid clique. Right. And the band people are definitely, I want to say this on record, they are having more sex than anybody.
The theater kids for sure at our school, yeah.
The theater kids are, I think, experimenting. But the band kids, they're having the intercourse.
Yeah, the cross country team too is super out there. You have to be crazy.
They got a stamina.
Yeah, but they you have to be crazy just to run in the forest for hella long.
Yeah.
Your mind is not at a high school level.
No. So I never got to do improv in high school, but I wanted to. I had a couple scenes selected for holiday package, which is something Dos Pueblos puts on. So in college, they had an audition.
Did friends tell you were funny? Your family?
All the time.
How did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
My whole life.
And
I believed them.
And you were just, were you imitating somebody, or were you just what?
I was just, no. I think I was just like making little side comments, but doing them to be funny. Like I wanted to make people laugh.
Was there like, where do you think that came from?
Both my parents are really incredible orators, and they also comment a lot.
I love the word orator. I love that. People don't use it enough.
I'm one of the ones who want to keep it strong.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, and they make a lot of side comments. My parents are really funny. They are loquacious.
Yep.
Yeah. I think my mom is really funny too. She's a very good storyteller.
Yeah.
So is my dad. And I liked Whoopi Goldberg a lot as a little kid, and that was definitely like, you know, what you like as a kid. You see, like, because your parents are saying, like. Yeah. So we watched a lot of Whoopi Goldberg stand-up.
Hollywood Squares. Mm-hmm. Right. She was on Hollywood Squares.
She was.
She was the centerpiece always. Mm-hmm. Like, I used to watch it with my grandma all the time. And then Whoopi Goldberg stand-up. That's so random.
She has this. I'm sure she has many, but there's one she did where she was characters. It was like a 90-minute show, and it was broken down for her. She did 30-minute segments as different characters. Yeah. And the way that she 100% transformed was just amazing. Yeah. I did very much emulate, I don't want to say copy, but I very much emulated one of her characters when I was in college in my improv team. And no one knew what I was referencing. And so upsetting. I was also kind of frustrated. I'm upsetting. Like, she's so good. Like, you should be saying, aren't you stealing that? Yeah. But no one did. But I thought it was so good that I wanted to try and
What was the movie she was in with Ted Danson? I know you've seen it. If you like
what did I just tell you? I am not good at name that.
You're right. I'm not listening. I'm a horrible host.
You recording? You can go back and listen.
You're right. I'll just erase this part. So Whoopi Goldberg. How much of like her being a woman? Like, were there other comedians, or was it like? Because I have this question with people of color comics all the time. I personally don't find. Like, if I had to rank comics, if we're gonna do the like exoteric thing, I don't really find white comics that funny. Like, I think a lot of this shit is slapstick and a lot like done before, and I don't understand a lot of the laughs that they get. Yeah. If I had to rank comics, I would think like, you know, African American, Latino comics are up there. So for you, did you gravitate towards Whoopi because she was a woman, or like who put you on to Whoopi?
My mom. Put me on to Whoopi. Yeah. No, I also really liked Robin Williams. I don't know who doesn't.
I feel like that's a common theme amongst young comics, for sure.
Yeah. I probably gravitated towards her because she also did so much clean stuff that I could watch a lot of it as a kid.
So my cursing, I should stop?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Have you been a clean comic your entire?
I'd say I'm clean with a little dirty laundry in there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I like that.
I definitely don't play blue, but there are a few jokes that I tell that some comics have said, "Oh, I thought this was going to be clean," and I'm like, "Oh, I thought that this was, in my opinion,
right,
this is clean, and it's also honest and real, and you know, if it offends you, we can talk about that if you want, but that doesn't make it any less clean."
Yeah, that's my thing about offensive. Anything that I say that might be offensive is like all of it's true to me. So yeah.
So yeah, I'd say I've mostly been clean.
So Whoopi, Robin Williams.
I'm a huge fan of Mindy Kaling.
Mindy Kaling is.
She was from The Office. She was a writer on The Office. Right. She's a writer in her own right. Yeah. She really inspires me as a woman of color because I've seen her talk and her hustle. I respect that because I want money coming into from all different directions. Like I want to be involved in a lot of different things.
I can see that you're involved in producing shows as well, which is the thing that I've actually enjoyed more than doing the stand-up. So in college, you finally got into the improv.
I did, yes. I did it for 4 years.
Okay.
And it was great.
Did it go like you expected?
I still felt out of the group. I definitely wasn't part of the theater group as much as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
But again, it was another version of these students were going out for auditions. You know, they wanted their livelihood to be based off of their theatrics right away, and I didn't. It wasn't an ambition of mine.
This is a hobby?
Yeah.
At this point? Yeah.
It was a hobby. I was in school for psychology. I wanted, I guess, to be a psychologist. Right. That's what I was in school for. Right. But the other thing was, I was very good.
You were good at the improv or good at psychology?
Yes. Both. But I mean, I was very good at improv, and I was good at learning the techniques that were being taught to us, you know? So they didn't cut me. Yeah. And I had to re-audition every year. Right. And so they might not have liked me for whatever reason, like socially, but I kept making the cut, and that meant a lot to me. And like, you know, they were as professional as college students can be sometimes. So during practice, everyone was on the level playing field, and that's what I appreciated. If I couldn't break the ice and be like in their friend group, at least when we had practice, which was 3 times a week for 2 hours each time, we were all there to make each other grow and to work with each other. Right.
And so getting to Kentucky now, did you go immediately to grad school?
I took a year off and moved to Israel.
Okay. Birthright? Are you Jewish?
I am Jewish, but I didn't go for birthright. Okay. But I went for another program. It's called Masa Israel, and you get to live there for like 5 months. They set you up with a place to live, a job, and then after that, you're on your own. Like you can stay or go travel. So I stayed for about 3 more months and then moved to Spain for a couple more months.
Okay. Did improv comedy at all over there?
No, and I should have, but there was a language barrier. There was a lot of excuses. I was really good at that. Yeah. So I didn't.
We all are. So what were the biggest takeaways you had from your time in Israel and Spain?
Before I lived there, I thought that Israel was a very like perfect country.
Right.
And I did. I really did. I'm not gonna. You know.
Yeah.
And it's just a regular country like everywhere else. Right. But I will say this, and I have since living there. It's easier to be Jewish living there. Mm-hmm. I got a work visa in a day, and but I had to bring in a letter from a rabbi that said like I confirm that Samantha is Jewish. Right. And that was kind of wild to me. Yeah. But I worked with people who weren't Jewish, and like they were there for years and could not get a work visa. And the thing of it is, it's a Jewish democracy. Like they don't hide that. Right. The word Jewish is before the word democracy. So I think it would be incredibly challenging to live there if you weren't of that faith. Right. I also felt very safe there, and also being Jewish, it was very, very cool to be a majority. For sure. Like. It's very cool. Yeah. And I'm from a mixed faith home, so I got to talk to my mom about that, and she said she'd never in her life thought about like what it would be like not being a majority. She's Catholic. Yeah. You had a bat mitzvah? I did, yeah. The first party I've ever been to in my life. Big old bat mitzvah. The best party, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. Bat mitzvah blowouts. You are like, whose bat mitzvah is better? Right. Yeah. And they always tell you, they're like, oh, no one in the audience like knows what you're saying, so if you mess up. But that's not true. Yes. Everybody who you went to school with, they are sitting there like waiting for you to... Was it really like that for real? Listen, there are people I should apologize to in my life. So yeah. You was sitting in the back like, I knew this person didn't know. Baha Rabata. See, I know a little something. My cousin is Lenny Kravitz. Really? No. Yeah, no. I was like, no. I didn't see that in like my daily Jewish newsletter. So. Yeah, you got tabs on all 8 black Jews? Yeah. Ethiopians, the original Jews. Oh my goodness. What is the rolling eye? Sorry. Okay, so Disney princesses and now Ethiopian Jews? Let's break this one down. Okay. Well, how is this problematic? I just met the black Hebrews when I was living in Israel. Okay. Didn't. So there's more than one? Yes. Okay. There's a whole mess of them. I want to know about my brethren. Your brethren. Yeah. Well, okay. We got the whole... No, you do not have to pay us. Okay. And that's only for the men too. I feel like there's a negative comment to come out about black Jews. So please tell me. No, I want to hear this. I want to be educated. It's not, I mean, I did eye roll. That did happen. You eye rolled. I want to hear it.
I can take it.
That's okay. Well, again, I'm like recalling memories from years ago, so hopefully now I'm better. But like, we met them, and they weren't even from Ethiopia. Most of them were from Boston, but they flew to Ethiopia and then immigrated. Like, they walked to Israel.
Yeah. From Ethiopia?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they didn't have to. I was just very confused.
Did I tell you what the Mexicans, the Ethiopians, and we are the pettiest? We just do shit out of spite for no reason.
Yeah. They really kept talking about how that they walked here, and I just kept thinking, but you didn't have to because you flew from Boston to Ethiopia.
Man, we are so consistent. We are so consistent as people. The Ethiopians need to step this shit up. Yo, we are so consistent.
Yeah, like that bothered me. And then, they kept saying that they were like the original. They wouldn't say Jews. They kept saying Hebrews. And it was never explained to me if there was a difference between Hebrews and Jews. Right. But also to the discredit of my edification, I'd never heard of the Black Hebrews before. Yeah. And this was my introduction. Yeah. These Bostonians who flew to Ethiopia to walk to Israel.
I mean, like,
but they were vegan and they had a vegan restaurant.
We were the original.
They talked about that a lot.
First of all, vegan. We're the original vegans. So this whole new trend,
that's fine.
This gluten-free bullshit. We've been on. We started that.
The Black Hebrews can have vegan.
The Black diet. That's what I'm saying. Like y'all are all on the Black diet right now. You always take our swag.
Who?
Y'all and the society, especially Santa Barbara. You know there's like a semi-Ethiopian restaurant in Santa Barbara. You know about that one?
I've heard talk.
And like once a Sunday, it's at a French restaurant. Mm-hmm. I've tried to go, and the one time they said, "Sorry, we'll be back in 2 days." they had a "We'll be back" sign, and it said 2 days.
I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, that's why I rolled. I just didn't believe anything that was coming out. Damn. I was not a believer.
You would think a class of people that's been put down would be accepting of others, but this is not what I'm seeing.
Not at the time in my life. I was happy they were there. I wasn't saying they needed to leave. Yeah. I just didn't believe the story that I was being told. Okay. It just didn't seem. You know why? Because I'd never heard it before, and and no one in my group was like, "Yeah, this is true." Yeah. So the people, I guess, I was invested in trusting. They weren't confirming. They weren't denying either, but they weren't confirming. Right. And no one ever explained the difference between Hebrews and Jews to me, and I was having to make this decision. Is it the same? Right. Is it not? Am I a Hebrew? Am I a Jew? I know I'm not Black. I knew that part, but not like that
Black.
Yeah, yeah. And they were very clear that the Black
Boston,
Hebrew.
You're not Boston Black, right?
No,
you're not. Yeah.
No, I'm not fly to Ethiopia to walk to Israel.
Walk to Israel, right? Yeah.
I'll fly to Tel Aviv and
see. That's so funny. They didn't have to do that. That's
so maybe I don't even remember what they said because all I could think about was
why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you? Am I supposed to respect you more because you chose?
I say that to my mom's side of the family all the time about a lot of things. So that makes
So that's where I'm coming from.
I'll let you. Upon further review, the eye roll stands. I understand it now. Okay, so what about your time in Spain?
I love Spain. Mm-hmm. I love Spain so much.
Yeah.
But the Spanish are super racist and they don't lie about it.
They invented slavery.
Yeah.
They started slavery.
Yeah. One of my best friends.
No Black Jews there.
No. Not many Jews either. And you want to know how I know? Because they have Museo de Jamón, which is a restaurant, everywhere, which means there's big pieces of ham hanging in the windows and they also sell cheese. Unkosher items together. And I'm you are just...
Throw it in your face.
Yeah. You're just nonverbal cue to the Jews, casual, not welcome.
Right. It's like the Alabama of Europe.
Yeah.
The racism is out in the open.
It's so out in the open. Yeah.
I love that.
Well,
I prefer it. Okay, you from California, I'm from California. I grew up learning about racism. Yeah. And I was this is a fairy tale. This doesn't exist. I went to Pennsylvania, I was the first Black people a lot of people have met, and that shit was crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm the first, y'all have never, that sucks for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in Kentucky, I was the first Jewish person. And I was what?
Right.
Y'all don't have any doctors or lawyers here? What?
Yeah, how do y'all do your taxes?
Like, I'm being educated. How do you do your taxes?
Yeah. I can't say it, but you can?
Yeah.
All right, fine.
It's 2019.
All right,
that's where we're at now.
We're going to do this? All right. I'm going to get canceled after this interview.
No. Right. Yeah, well, in Spain, so to go to the markets, basically the 7-Eleven equivalents, I kept trying to ask, like, ¿Dónde están los mercados? And people didn't know what I was talking about. They're like, what do you...
Once, ocho, siete...
Siete, once, 7-Eleven.
Yes.
There you go. And they just kept saying, oh, you're looking for the chinitos. And I refused to say that for weeks. Because I would...
market.
Right, but I was like, I'm not looking for the Chinese. And then finally, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Because all the they're not 7-Elevens, they are little markets, but all the markets, they're owned by Chinese.
Yeah.
But they're Spanish Chinese. They speak perfect Spanish. And they're also not, the few that I asked in my 20-year-old scared self, is this racist to say this? They looked at me like I was just stupid. They're like, what else would you call us? And I'm like, I don't know. I just want to buy my milk and leave. Like, I regret.
The Chinese are super adaptable. Like, there's a gang of, not a gang, that's a triad. There is a huge
consortium
of Chinese in Ethiopia. They are, working with the government and whatnot, and there are now Chinese restaurants in Ethiopia. Crazy. Wow. They are helping build the infrastructure, and these Chinese people speak Amharic perfectly. Like, it is crazy.
Yeah. That's
That's
how they speak Spanish. I was like, my mind couldn't wrap its head around what was going on.
And now they just call it Filipino now.
Yeah. Yeah, Spain's good. I mean, every place has its problems, but I loved it. It was great.
Cool. So then you're like, howdy, y'all. Let's go to Kentucky.
Yeah. No. I applied to grad school and I got into several, and still not all of them, but enough. And Kentucky, I leveraged an offer, to be fair, and so Kentucky offered me a good package.
Yeah.
To go.
Yeah, that's what I understand most of grad school is whoever offers the most, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And so I went to Kentucky.
Okay. And then why did you come back to Santa Barbara?
Because I couldn't stay in Kentucky.
Okay.
No. Because I broke up with the boyfriend I had out there.
That's all you had to say.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the big reasons, so I had no more reason
Very Disney
to stay.
princess-like. Just to leave because of a man.
No, there was no other reason. Like, I hadn't been offered a job. Yeah. I hadn't...
Did you meet this guy out there? Mm-hmm. Where was he from?
He was from there.
He was from Kentucky.
Yeah. And he never wanted to leave.
Of course not.
Of course. I will. So, and my family's in Santa Barbara, so, go back home. I don't have a job. I don't have an apartment. Right. I should probably go home and figure my life out.
Right. This is what I did. I graduated grad school. Now I'm back home with my parents.
That's the dream.
Moving back home with my mom after I graduated college was like one of the lowest points of my life, and it was not. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest misconception that we all have as young 20-year-olds. It's the smartest thing you could do is move back in with your family if they allow you back.
Yeah, and that was the attitude that my family took, and that I also think is some of that. Hispanic Jewish family, there is no shame in adult or grown children coming home within the realm of why they need to be there. So I wasn't shamed, and it wasn't okay, well, you better leave in 2 months or you need to start paying rent. It was okay,
right.
Yeah, come back, settle, and then keep it moving.
So when did the comedy stand up? I know improv and comedy are two different things.
They are.
So when did the stand up?
When I moved back.
Okay, so why?
I had a great improv team out in Kentucky. They were called Extra Crispy.
Okay.
I loved performing with them. It was great. It was so much fun. And then it was really hard to find an improv team for me out here. One that performed as much as I wanted to. And I'd wanted to do stand-up. And so I made a vision board.
You and your Pinterest?
No, I cut out pictures and pasted it. And probably I've
never met so many people that have said that to me in Santa Barbara.
Really?
Showing me their cutouts of magazines, vision boards.
And I got really into manifesting and meditating, and I was on Facebook, and there was a class offered to intro to comedy writing, and so I never really sat down. I had a lot of unfinished jokes.
Right.
Some that now I've gone back to those journals and I'm like, wow, like I developed that way better. Right. I didn't need to read this. But I was like, I'm going to do this. And in 3 months, I want to get on stage and then we'll see what happens.
You went about everything the right way. No, you went to do the classes, you went to learn. I've just done everything, just trying it out. Mm-hmm. Like, I just feel like you're either funny or you're not.
Oh, that's true. See, that's the other thing. I knew I was funny. I just wanted, I guess, to know if there was any, like... Yeah. Is there a trick to writing a joke? Or I also wanted to figure out what my style was because I'd never been on stage alone.
And the classes help you do that?
It did. Yeah, I mean, it also helped me get into a routine. Like Monday nights, that's when I write. I set aside an hour to 2 hours. Yeah. If I haven't written at all the rest of the week, like, it's also like my punishment night. Like, you better... Right. Yeah. It's also like editing night. Like, I read through everything. And, so it taught me a bit more about discipline, and I think it gave me just the good energy and the good vibes to get out there. So,
Makes sense. All right, so first time on stage, what were the jokes? Do you remember the jokes? And how long ago was this? How long have you been doing comedy for? Stand up?
Yeah, a year and some change.
Okay, so the first time open mic was, I'm going to assume this is in Santa Barbara. It's probably Brass Bear.
No.
Okay, Wine Therapy.
No, but it's close to Wine Therapy.
What's the other one called? Pink Belly, or like the Pink Elephant or whatever?
Or you're guessing all like good places. No, it was at Villa Wine Bar.
Okay, I didn't know that was the one. Okay.
Yeah, that was like the graduation of the class. Was that this woman put together a showcase of everybody? Yeah, I practiced. I practiced so much. In the car, I was recording myself. I had my parents there. I
told everybody.
I did. And I also used to, when I did improv for a long time, I never invited people. I just like didn't want to know that I knew people. But my roommate came, she brought friends. And that was really great.
Did you get it recorded?
I did.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I shared it right away.
Oh, wow.
It was great. Yeah. It was the other thing was I try so hard to, I want to straddle being humble, but with also being very accurate. And I do believe that I'm funny. And I walked out on stage being like, I know what I have to say. I know that it's funny. Right. And I also was like, as much as I knew that they wanted people to laugh, I was also like, please.
Well, I don't think it's like cocky saying you're funny, but I do think there's like you said earlier, there's a whole presentation to it. Also, there's stage presence, there's delivery, there's all that stuff, all those mechanics I've learned on the fly.
Yeah.
But like funny, like
it is or it isn't.
Yeah, you are or you aren't.
Yeah, I agree.
There's tons of people that aren't funny that are making millions of dollars in this industry.
That's very true. That's true.
Very upsetting.
Yeah, the bumpiest thing though about my first night. God. The host, she gave me this great intro and she's like, you better remember this name because she's gonna be famous. She completely butchered my name, and my roommate, she looks back at me like, yeah. And I was so angry, and it threw me for, it did, and I realized, and I made a split second to pull my shit together. Yeah. And like.
Did you, well, so you were comfortable performing in front of people, but did you have like a pregame routine or something, or did you need something?
No, I still haven't really developed much of a pregame routine. I mean, I look through what I want to say again, and then I just drink some water. And the minute before, I try to just like be in the room or be around the comic who I'm going up after, and take a deep breath, and like I want to listen to what they're saying and like get into that. I think I'm more quiet maybe right before. Yeah. Like I definitely try and stop talking to people for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I used to be like, I had to go on a walk and listen to music and like pump myself up. But now like I'm super comfortable with conversation, whatever, and I'm so much more comfortable with myself also on stage, and but I used to be like, don't talk to me, yeah.
No. I mean, I prefer a little bit of like, I'm not talking to someone, but I can be in the room when someone else is performing or things like that. But I don't have a big, real routine.
And have you had like a holy shit, I can't believe I'm doing this moment? Yeah, in the year and a half, like have you had like any like really, really highs that like?
Yeah.
What was
Yeah, there was a benefit that we did I helped do with Planned Parenthood at the former SB Comedy Hideaway. And I came in and like, it was one of those fire sets where like everything I said, they just thought it was the funniest thing that they'd ever heard. And it felt so good. And like, I kind of got distracted by how like the crowd work was distracting me from what I wanted to say. And so I kept trying to tell this one joke, and I don't know what I was I kept making people laugh doing other stuff, and I kept wanting to go back to it, and I finally was like, nope. You all are not going to hear the rest of that tonight. You'll have to find me another night. And I like moved on. And so many people came up after me. They're like, what was the joke? I'm like, y'all, you left like check me out on on my website.
I love that.
But that felt great.
Yeah, so you've produced shows for like the Alzheimer's Association, the Planned Parenthood, American Heart Association. When did you start producing shows, and how did that come about? For a cause. I just do it for my bank account. Like what?
That's a cause.
It's
cause you gotta pay bills.
Money,
I was involved in event planning in college, so that's always been kind of in my back pocket. I like to consider myself like a great networker. I don't have a problem calling and asking businesses for things for free because I think no is an answer, and it's a short answer, and then you can move on and ask somebody else. Like I don't want to. I'm not good at that batting average metaphor, but like I don't think mine's good. But people only at the end of the day they'll only see like what good came out of it, not like the 200 people who were like nope. They see the 2 that said yes. And so I'm on Blondes vs. Brunettes. It's a flag football game that raises money. We play a game once a year. Raises money for the Alzheimer's Association. Still, yes.
How old are you?
31.
Like I think about like.
Seems so scared.
No, because like football is a physical sport. I don't care if it's flag or not.
We don't have pads or helmets.
I know. I understand that. I know what powder puff football is, but I have to like if I'm gonna play basketball, it's gonna be once a month, and I have to like dedicate my body to like this is what's gonna be, and it's gonna hurt this much afterwards. Okay.
We practice for about 2.5 months, and then we have the big game.
Practice? Like, you're doing a lot for this cause.
But to even play, you have to raise $500. To be on the practice team, you have to raise $250. But as a team, your goal is to raise, I think it's $45,000 as a team.
Jeez.
So the more you raise, the better you do.
That's amazing. And you help put this together, or you just been involved with it?
I've just been involved with the game, but I keep putting on productions to raise
money for that. That's awesome.
Like the Comedy for a Cause that raised a couple $1,000s in one night.
Dang.
And then the year before that, I did a burlesque show, and
you put it on, or you were part of it?
I put it on.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was super supportive. He was like
contacting burlesquers. Like, where do you find them? Like on
Facebook, Instagram.
Get out of here! You just putting together burlesque. You down to burlesque? Okay. Did you have like tryouts first, or did you like see, hey, send me your tape?
If they had a large enough presence online, I mean,
you trusted it.
I did. I looked at the tape, like the videos they put up, and no, I didn't have auditions because also there weren't that many burlesque people. My pool was very shallow, but the talent was there. And the people who I came wanted to be there. So that's what I wanted more than anything.
For sure. In the year and a half, like, are you satisfied like today with what you've been able to accomplish?
Yeah. I do wish it was a bit further along, but I also have to keep
further along.
I don't know, maybe this is like the noob in me, and maybe in a couple years if I'm still doing this, I'll look back and think like how naive, but like I wish that booking gigs wasn't as hard as I have found it to be, and the amount of schmoozing that I feel like is necessary is so much more than I thought. Like I really, really did believe that like the talent would speak for itself. Absolutely. And not to say like I'm the most talented, but you're always like promoting, but like I deserve to be on the stage.
I understand that.
And I think a lot of people do. And also producing, I had comics contacting me I'd never met, I'd never heard of, and that's how I contact some people. Like, I hear about it, and it is very overwhelming. And I'm sure, you produce, you have people reaching out, hello, who you've never met, and you're kind of balancing, like, okay, well, there's people I know who I perform with, who I know can, like, deliver, and then, but just because I haven't known you and haven't performed with you, but yeah, I didn't realize the amount of kind of ass kissing and schmoozing that is really, I have felt is required. Yeah. So I'm always still trying to learn, am I doing it the right way? Yeah. And obviously there's no official right way, but I'm always interested, is someone else doing it different, and is that different better for me? Yeah,
the kind of message that I've made for myself is like, if I'm not going to wait for opportunities to come about. I'm going to make my own opportunities. That's why I started my own show. Like, that was really, I didn't really care about the money. I didn't care about how many people came. I just wanted to give myself a stage. Like, I was tired of the ass kissing, the butt kissing, and
Great, so it's not just me. Okay.
I'm tired. Like, it's just, I felt like my stuff was good. And it's funny because, like, a year and a half ago when I first started my own mic to today, like, I'm way better now. So,
because you've been able to get that stage time, right?
Right, I have been able to get that stage time, but I thought the talent would speak for itself, and it doesn't. Yeah. There's a lot of politics, which I hate in my real job, that I thought would not be present here. Mm-hmm. Also, this is one of the most self-absorbed areas, comedy and just region-wise. So this is probably one of the, and oversaturated. That's why I left the Bay Area. So all that being said, like, now that I'm producing shows, I'm finding myself, like, I told myself, three groups of people I wanted to make happy. I wanted, number one, make sure that the performers that I had on, because I had so many shitty experiences, were happy, were satisfied. So I'm always gonna pay the performers no matter what, an even amount. I always wanted to make sure that my crowd was happy, and I always wanted to make sure that the venue that I was using was happy. So, set up, clean up, everything I wanted to be involved with. But it's hard, man. Like, you do all those things and you only get, you don't get the highest turnout, or you do all those things and a performer doesn't show up, or you do all those things and there's a freaking fire on the day of your show that's shutting down the one. And then on top of that, you do get reached out by a bunch of people, and now it's like, I don't want to put on I don't know who's good or who's not, who's gonna bring people, who's not. I'm finding myself leaning towards people that I don't think is funny, but I know will bring people. I never thought I'd be that person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've been super empathetic to, I don't know. I mean, it's just, it's hard. But I do like the production part of it more than actual performing now, to be honest.
Really? Yeah. Right now, it's even split for me. I am working to try and get a venue. I've been talking with a few in Santa Barbara to put in a regular spot. But again, until you find one that's ready to, like, let you do it, you're again schmoozing and, like, showing, like, this is what I can bring. And so I'm in a lot of early stage talks, which, as you know, I think I find that to be very just a common trope of comedy. You're in a lot of early stage talks with a lot of people. Yeah. It's a lot of, like, dating. It is dating, but you're following up. You don't want to be too.
But the one advantage that, like, you would have, I'm assuming just from everything you told me, and, like, the one advantage I know I do have is when I say something, I'm going to do it. Yes. And I'm, punctual, and maybe that's hurt me in the past of, like, being honest as opposed to just flubbing just BS at places and like wishing them something that may not come true. But that's the one advantage I know I can offer, is that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. Yeah. And that's what you got to stay consistent, be dependable, because those other people, they're going to flake out. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't sacrifice immediate gain for your morals and whatnot. So
yeah. And like I said, I consider myself a networker and someone who brings people together. Like, I really believe you never know who you're going to meet and who they're going to know and how they're going to, relay who you are to someone else. And, people don't remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel.
Do you have a good judgment of character? Are you quick on?
I do believe I have a very good judgment of character.
That's probably, like, one of my only superpowers I have. is I feel like I can read people really well, and that's helped me in this. Like I've had a lot of friends that have like been burned too. It's just like I don't understand. I'm like, how do you let yourself go down that path with that person? Yeah. But it's been fun though. I know we're saying a lot of negative things. I feel bad now. It's been fun though.
We're just being honest. I don't think there's enough honesty about. There can be negatives when there's.
What does it do for you?
Saying negative things?
Nope.
Oh.
Overall, why have you continued on a year and a half?
Because I get so much. There's nothing else in the whole world that gives me as much energy as being on stage.
For sure.
Nothing else in the whole world. It's when I did the longest that I've ever done that I got recorded was 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted afterwards. And like, it makes me also look at hour-long comedy shows with a whole different level of respect. Like, I mean, obviously I see the talent, but I see past that. I'm like, you have no idea. Yeah. Like, this person isn't just giving you their energy. They're giving you every ounce of energy that they have in their entire collective. They're putting it out there. And while they're on that stage, I think they're feeling it. But like, I just feel it like a sugar rush. Like, it's high up and then...
For sure. Are there comedians currently that you look up to? Or...
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if local is the right word, but there's people who I've met through this that I look up to and that I talk with.
Who are?
I met Anthony Davis a couple of months ago, and he headlined my Comedy for a Cause. He's been really gracious and really helpful, and I have not actually found that to be very common amongst a lot of male comics in particular, from a female comic. Yeah. And I've been really... Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I don't know, and it might just be like a business mindset, or like, and I've read a lot more about business, like being in this, because I do believe myself to be a business, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. Is that a lot of women CEOs or business people believe that there's enough pie for everybody, while men believe that the pie shop is out of business and what is made is all that there will ever be. Does that analogy make sense? Like, I believe that there will always be enough business for every single person, and a lot of men believe that, like, no.
You talking about specific comedy?
Comedy, any type of business. Like, I always feel that...
I don't know. I've come across a lot of women that are like... And because I've had to work so hard to get here, good luck to, like, you. Or there's a complex of, like... You know, they've kind of given up on the moral thing and use... whatever advantages that they do have, and that's everybody.
I think that's everybody.
That's a lot.
I think
of people.
Everybody uses whatever. I think you get to a point where there are times where you use kind of whatever advantage that you think that you have, true or otherwise.
And I don't really respect it, and that's not like I hate. But it's like I don't respect it personally, but I respect your hustle.
Right.
That's what I'm like. Hey, like I'm never gonna like. It's like this big a list of people that I don't want to be successful. Other than that, like, hey, good job, you did it your way. Like, I'm gonna do it my way though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not rooting against anybody. I don't know. I did a comedy contest and I made it to the semifinals and I looked around and it was only myself and one other woman, and then the rest were male comics. And I talked with her before.
Who, Denise?
No, it wasn't Denise Carter.
Who?
It was...
You don't want to say?
No.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I talked with her before. We'd all picked numbers, so I knew where we were, and she and I were, thankfully, spread out. Yeah. But I said, you know that we're not both going to make it through, and for one of us to make it, we have to be the best person on stage tonight. Uh-huh. And she said, I know. And that was it. And I don't know why I did that. I think maybe I just wanted to know that the other woman knew that, like...
Were you trying to psych her out?
No, I wasn't, to be honest. I was trying to be like, I want one of us to make it, but like for one of us to make it, we have to be the best person in the room. And I didn't believe that the men saw it that way. Yeah. Maybe they did. And like I said, like we're all coming into this with like our own conceived notions. Like I wasn't talking with all of them because I didn't want that to psych me out. Because the first time I ever did stand-up was actually in college, and this male comic was so mean to me. And then he tried to flip it and was nice, and I'm not a mindfuck person, and so to avoid that, I just don't.
Yeah. It's weird. Comics do try to do that, though.
I try and...
That's weird.
No, I hope she didn't see it. She was great. She killed it. Yeah. She did. Neither one of us made it through, so if I did try and mindfuck her, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But that's how I saw it.
Yeah. That
we had to be the best. And that's that.
So what obstacles do you feel as a female comic?
I feel a lot of shows are female light, if not at all, and it's very hard, I have found, for bookers or producers to believe that they could have the same show flipped, like 4 females and only 1 male on the lineup, when it's almost always, when I've seen, it's like 4 males, 1 female, or just all males. And I just don't believe that you couldn't find one funny woman to put on your lineup. I don't. Yeah, I never believe that. And when I look and I see lineup after lineup that's also all white men, I'm like, there was a show I did and I couldn't believe this. I was so frustrated with the lineup that I went off script because I was so angry. It was an African-American male opener, a Hispanic woman, myself, who was also a Hispanic woman, and then every single body else who performed was a white male. And even my partner was there and he's like, is this really happening right now? Like, are they getting like minority hour out of the way? And I go, yup.
Yeah.
And I'm about to say that right now into this microphone.
Yeah.
And, I made light of it, but I pointed it out. I was like, minority hour is almost over, guys. We're going to be able to hear some white male perspective real soon. Because we have missed it. Yeah, and I will say the booker came up to me and he was young enough to, I think, understand that, like, I don't know, he apologized and I was not intending for him to apologize. And he said, I didn't even realize I'd done that. And I said, I know you didn't. And that's why I said what I did. Because I did. Because it was obvious. Yeah. Like, the 3 of us saw it right away.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, you just... So that's kind of an obstacle.
I had no idea. Like, it's just must be so nice not having to worry about so many extra boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay, so take it from a year from now. Mm-hmm. Where do you hope to, like, where you want to get to? What's one habit you think you need to stop and a habit you need to start to help you get to where you want to be?
Yeah. I think I need to stop waiting for opportunity.
Yeah.
I go after a lot, but I still kind of hope and wait that it'll find me.
Right.
And I really need to just let that go.
Yeah.
And I need to start, I think I need to start accepting that driving is just part of this.
It is.
But driving for so long.
It's trash.
It's part of the whole experience.
Especially where we live too.
Yeah. I'm getting better, but I don't know why that's been a really difficult pill to really swallow for the last year.
Yeah, there's a good pocket of comedy up in like Arroyo and San Luis Obispo, actually.
I was just up in Stylo.
College town. Like as many areas of college you can really hit, I feel like are pretty solid areas where people would appreciate comedy too. But yeah, the driving's part of it. So that's the habit you want to eliminate, is getting over that.
Yeah, like I want to stop thinking that I'll be as successful as I want to be within a 30-mile radius.
Right. And then I like to finish off with a cheesy question.
Okay.
So if you say you're 31, if you go back and tell 21-year-old Sam one message, what would it be?
I have to remember where I was at 21. I was a senior in college. I would tell 21-year-old Sam to take some aspirin and water before bed, and that the particular man of interest unfortunately will turn out to not be as worth it as she thinks.
Yeah.
To give Abby a really big hug because she's going to be there with you for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And you should probably start writing comedy jokes now because you're a little 9 years late to the game, bro. but I'd say you're doing great.
For sure.
You're living your life, man. Yeah.
Well, Sam, I appreciate you. How do people get in contact with you? Do you have anything coming up? This will probably be out in a couple days.
Wonderful. Yeah, they can find me online, Sam Bear Comedy. You can find me on you can email me, sambearcomedy@gmail.com, www.sambearcomedy.weebly.com. Upcoming, I'll be doing a private show with Vera Wine Cult, but you can buy tickets to that. It's on November 17th. Look them up. Shout out to a local wine business. And then I'll be around town. I perform every Wednesday at the Garden in the public market in Santa Barbara.
Oh, really?
7 p.m. Well, they have trivia there, and I run trivia, so it is trivia with comedy peppered in.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I've got a loyal fan base.
Sam, I appreciate you. Thanks
Thank
for coming.
you.
Look, they say rap's like a trap, so I'm looking for the map to the back door. Sometimes I sit and wonder what the fuck I'm rapping for. So many cats more talented and never had a chance at it. Not to mention niggas trying to damage it. Cold-hearted vandalists, fucking up the culture. They acting like it's kosher to rap for the advantages, making the game scandalous. Stranded so far from the art, you start to wonder if they ever was a fan of it. I'm digging in the crates with the candles lit, looking for a record to describe my anger so I can sample it. Condense my feelings into 16 bars and try to sugarcoat my quotes so they won't seem raw. And I can tell what all your folks' dreams are. Cause all the video shows is hoes jocking, niggas knocking in cars.